knows our society, where we are from, and where we are going. We have with us one of the best, the most rigid patriarch of our Jamaican society here, Miss Victoria Johnson, known by many, if not all. Miss Johnson has played a leading role in this community for quite a long time, and I think she will elaborate on her experiences, what has been done. She has a broad idea and experience of the area, so I think we'll get it all from her. Miss Johnson. Firstly, I would like you to just give me a history of the school, the Clarksonville School, as you remember.
Okay, the Clarksonville School, the present Clarksonville School, was built in 1965. That's the present one, the one that we are in now. Now, it was formerly across the road at the Baptist Church, and it was on the downstairs that now houses the basic school. On the 4th of April 1965, it was moved into this building under the headmastership of O.A. Malcolm. He stayed here for quite a while, although he was retired. Anyhow, he decided to complete his retirement, and not only the retirement, but his days in the classroom. And so when he left, one guy Lemonius took over, and that was in 1969. That was the year when I came here, and along with Mr. Lemonius, Mrs. Lemonius, and myself, we worked as a team. Ever since Mr. Lemonius took over as principal, the school has been undergoing quite a number of changes. And not only changes, I think we have excelled in various areas. One of the areas is that of the festival area. Festival in the light of music and culinary arts. We have excelled in so many of the areas of music, especially the folk. And we have been successful in that. We have had several gold medals and silver medals because we had the stuff here to work with. That's the children. And they highlighted the school, and they really set the school on the map. When it comes to culinary arts, we really excel. And as a home economic teacher, we really never had a building as such, but we did a project. And so ever since we have been doing the project, we have entered culinary arts, and we have been achieving success in the areas of silver medals and gold medals. Personally, I tried my hand at culinary arts, and I have always been successful in getting gold medals as individual and also silver medals, special awards, etc. Apart from that, we continued and we made various functions. We were able to procure a piano, and that also helped us. From time to time, various teachers joined the staff, and we had really good relationship. It so happened that Mr. Lemonius had to leave for university. Mrs. Lemonius was here as the head, and so we still continued to do very, very well. During the years of Mr. Lemonius, Mrs. Hack joined the staff, and we continued to do very, very well, excelling in all the former areas. we did much more. We went further afield. After spending 4 years here, Mr. Lemonius had to leave, and he's now at Bryce. Mrs. Hyde took over the saddle, and so Mrs. Hyde did a very good job. She stayed until the school was advertised, and T.P. Walters came on the scene, and he also, along with his wife, Mrs. Hyde, myself, and other members of staff, we continued to hold the school in high esteem because the community looked forward to us, and we really showed them that we could do with their children what they really wanted. We have had several successes. Scholarship, that's a common entrance. We have had the overage, that's a technical, and we have had grade 9 achievement tests. And quite a number of students have excelled in these areas. Some of the students went to Homewood, some went to York Castle, some have been to Knox, some have been as far as Fern Court. And they have done very, very well. And those that are still going to those schools are still doing very, very well. As time went on, Mr. Walters had to leave because he migrated, and Mrs. Hyde took over the reins, so we continued as a team doing all that we thought good for the school. At the moment, Mrs. Hyde is on leave, and I am in this hot seat, in the post of responsibility, and we are still doing very, very well. We have had, over the years, we have had international runners on this rugged terrain that you see there. We have had 2 students going to Miami. They have competed with 12 schools and they have come out victorious. Those same students, they went to Virtech, and they are out now on their own, doing very, very well. Since then, we continued this sort of athletic sports, and schools have been craving for those students that we train here. At the moment, there are several at Fern Court. There are also several at Garvey Massio in Clarendon, and we also have at Virtech. There is one at St. Jago at the moment. We have students that are still doing very well at St. Hilda's in Brownstown and also at York Castle. I must make special mention of married folks who has been doing very, very well at the moment. There's also another student who has been doing very well after leaving school. She's now at the exchange, the telephone exchange in St. Anne's Bay. So you see, in spite of the hardship of Clarksonville, we are still trying to keep the children, or to highlight the children, and to keep the school going. At the moment, there is quite there's quite some needy areas that we would really like to, we would really like to have something so that we could just shape those areas, just furnish them.
Just a break in there before we reach down to those points, because the intention is to highlight your major problems right now. You have been here approximately 19 years, and of that 19 years that I know of, you have been a senior teacher for most, if not all of those years. Could you share with us some of your experiences down the line? Because you have passed along by O.A. Malcolm, Mr. Lemonius, Mrs. Lemonius, Mrs. Hyde, Yeah, Mr. Walters, you have seen them all.
Oh yes, I have. And let me tell you, as a senior teacher, I was made a senior teacher during the principalship of Mr. T.P. Walters. As a matter of fact, I had always been doing yes, as a matter of fact, I had been doing senior teacher's work, but I was confirmed in the post during the era of Mr. Walters, T.P. Walters. And I did it for approximately 10 years. Now, during those days, my senior post was tied to that of the canteen. That was the area of responsibility. And so I manned the canteen. It was very strenuous at times, but I enjoyed doing it. You see, I did because I did home economics in college, and so because of that, I enjoyed. To every time I do for the canteen, I gain more experience. And so that was what helped me along during the days of festival. Now, I have met with many difficult areas. There were parents who at times were erratic, but being able to handle them, I think in the long run, they realized what took place, and so they came down off their high horses. Apart from that, with the ups and downs of school, I think I managed fairly well. And from Mr. Walters to Mrs. Hike, I think I did fairly well. At one stage, I had to be made retroactive in salary for a good many years because I was underpaid at the senior post. So I got a fairly reasonable sum of money when the retroactive came. In spite of it all, I enjoyed it, and now that it has fallen on me to be in charge of Clarksonville School, I appreciate it, and I think I shall do it. And if it needs be that I am to be confirmed in the post, I'd gladly accept it.
Okay, during your years here, you have seen a lot. You have seen people come, you have seen people go, you have seen things happening. Could you compare at maybe 5-year intervals, like 69, 75 up the line, so we can see whether we have a upward or a downward drift in the general discipline, the tendency of the people, the society as a whole, just our small community and the school?
Now, although times have changed, I think the education system actually remains the same, Actually remains the same. Well, we could have gotten a lot more from the students of the past within the 70s because they had a will to learn. They knew where they were going and they knew what they wanted, and so they buckled down and they tried their very best. We got the backing from most of those parents. As a matter of fact, you could see the relationship between the school and the parents, because whatever we did here was reinforced by the parents. And in my opinion, I realized that those parents wanted the children to achieve. They wouldn't want to see their earnings go down the drain. Nowadays, people have changed. For what reason, I don't know. And the reinforcing of what we teach at school is not wholly done at home, because you can see it. There is a downward drag in the discipline. And although we are trying to correct it, there is something that is wrong. Where? I can't tell.
Does that drift there, does it affect your attendance compared with the past as to now?
In a small measure, it does. But what it does, it takes more out of you to teach these children. There's a strain. You're more tired when you get home. And although you are trying to push whatever across, you have to keep reinforcing on another teaching scale. Once, you would only have to teach and then reinforce. Now you have to teach, reinforce, and in the reinforcing, you teach again.
What's it like to be in the, as you termed it, in the hot seat? Could you verbally give us some of the heat so we can know, exactly what you are facing?
Well, let me tell you something. I wasn't expecting anything like this. It was just thrown at me because at the moment, as a matter of fact, even now, I am still hoping and praying that Mrs. High could have returned. As a matter of fact, when she went on leave, I acted as the principal. When she returned, and I handed over to her like 3 months, at the handing over meeting, she said to me, "I know you could manage." I said, "Never you say that." She said, "I know you could manage." Little knowing that something was building up at the back of her mind that she would travel again. Anyway, it came up that she had to leave in 1976 at the end of March. So again, I was thrown at the helm of the school. Now, I have a very good complement of teachers working alongside. They were here previous to her going, and they stood by me very well. Mrs. Fawkes, Miss Price as senior teacher, and we have really done very, very well. Whatever the difficulties I encounter here or there, there's always Miss Price and Mrs. Fawkes to go to. So, although I was timid at the time to take it up, because of their backing, I just take it, and I think I am finding my way around fairly well.
Okay, we are quite happy with that you have a quite complimentary staff here. There is supposed to be a PTA group. What is their response towards all you are doing? How do they help out? And on the whole, what is their general attitude toward the institution and the part that it plays in the community?
Oh, I think I have a very good PTA. They back me a whole lot, and more so the president. The president is really a tower of strength, Mr. Barry Watt.
I see. We have noticed that there is quite a bit of disrepair to the entire building and fixtures, furniture. Could you elaborate what has been done over the years to replacement, repairs, painting of the building, and the part that the community plays?
What I want to tell you is that ever since I'm here, no repair has been done by the Ministry of Education. And it's because of this why this present deterioration is like this. You see, in my opinion, if they would have come from time to time, examine the building, and then do the little that was to be done, then what would have happened is it wouldn't have gone to this stage. For instance, the windows. We have been trying, and we are still trying to see what we can do. But when it comes to the PTA, I think they are appreciative, with the exception. In everything there are exceptions, and I know that the parents are very, very appreciative of what we are doing. Quite a number of them have been holding up our hands. Even the other day when there was an SOS went out for repair of the benches, quite a number of them responded by sending in boards and things like that. So our benches, we are, fairly comfortable students. You mentioned something about the painting of the building. Well, I think twice within my era, the ministry painted the building. But the last painting was done by citizens and the teachers. Because we made some effort, we got some monies, we bought the paint. Reverend Hall helped us, and a few parents came in, some cooked, while the others painted. And that is why you see the building as it is now.
Okay, what about your staff? Accommodation for the staff. Are they comfortable? Are they happy? Or do they just have to do with what they have?
They have to do with what they have, I can tell you that the staff room was vandalized, or it was fairly well furnished through efforts of our own, but it was vandalized, and we are just trying to replace a few of the things that have been taken out, and the members of staff could have done with a lot more.
Do you think that your accommodations for the students and for the staff has anything to do with your exam results as they are now? And could you give us a rundown on your statistics, like maybe over a 3-year period?
What I want to say is that, first of all, when it comes to being comfortable and learning, if people are not comfortable, then they can't learn. And maybe that is one of the setbacks, because in some of the areas, in some of the classes, the students are not comfortably seated. And that could have really spoken for some of the setback in the results. Now, if I should mention coming down, like a 3-year period, we have had 17, 23, 25 going off to high schools and secondary schools. We have had 6s and 7s and 8s in the common entrance result. Now, what has also happened is that the ministry does not, or cannot, I must say, cater for more than a set number within a set school, in my estimation. It's like the spacing is a problem in the ministry. So we just have to make do with what they say. But I know that we have had very good students who have, from time to time, failed to gain a place. For what reason, I don't know. I don't know if when they get to the examination, there's a breakdown somewhere. But we just have to be satisfied with whatever we happen to get.
Okay, during my time, down in the late 60s, early 70s, the passes for here used to be a 1 and a 2 and a 3, right? Now things seem to be on an upward trend, and as you get in your 20s, that is an overall. Okay, do you think the community on a whole has anything to do with this, as you have passed through this community for, I would say, the better part of your life?
The better part of my life.
So could you tell us about the community and the role it plays within the school and the effects upon the children?
Well, what I have to say is that there are many members of the community who have certainly encouraged the students from time to time. If they see them tend to be late, they try to hurry them on. If they see that there's a breaking down anywhere, they will try to see them, they will talk to them. The PTA president, Mr. Cross, Brighty Cross, will try to do anything to let them come, and there are other interested parents who would say, run on, look, teacher is trying to help you, and you must try to help yourself. So the encouragement that the students have been getting tended to assist them from time to time.
Earlier on you had mentioned about vandalism. What could be the cause of this? Because everybody seems to have something to say about. What do you say would contribute mostly to the youths destroying what made them what they are and what they will be?
Let me tell you something. It is kind of hard to say that. But let me tell you what happens. It's you have friends and you don't know the nature of your friends. And your friends would come in, you would bring in your friends. That is in my estimation. You bring in your friends. And the friends let you down. And this is how I see it. Now, when it comes to villagers, it's not all the villagers are here. You know, some have warped minds. And that has a lot to do with it. And you can't know them. Now, if you knew them, then something could have been done about it. But there are people who are quite secretive. And there are others who do know and they won't talk. It's like, it's as if, I mean, if you talk, I'm going to hurt you.
Well, at least it really lifted my spirit a moment ago to know that the vandalism not being done by who are here, but mainly by outsiders. What would you suggest the community and a whole to do to control such problems?
Well, there's hardly anything that a community can do, you know. It's only that you have to seek out your friends and you know them. And you keep a watchful eye. Now, this is what is actually happening at the moment. Now, we had a very, very good citizen who has migrated, and I miss him with all my heart, and that is Mr. Walters. What's his name, Walters? No, I can't remember. He's from in deeper Cedar Valley. That's Walters. He has migrated now.
Cecil Walters.
Cecil Walters, that's the person. And I was a very vigilant citizen. Taking into consideration that the ministry is not able to give us a watchman. Because they say, when I've been to them, you have to get a watchman to watch a watchman. Now, seeing that is the reason, there are many alert citizens. And especially nowadays, they are trying their very best to keep an open eye on strangers that enter the village, so that the school is kept intact.
Okay, what do you think past students who have left, mainly people who have migrated, could do for the school and the community? Do you have any suggestions?
Oh yes, there is such a need in the school, you know. And these past students, once they are able to do anything, we would highly appreciate it. We need benches, we need blackboards, and although the lighting system is not what we really want it to be, but if they could let us or help us to have some more of those electrical gadgets. For instance, I have a guest techna here that is out of commission. It needs a mighty lot of repair. Now, this would have made it more possible for children to be able to read question papers, associate them, or have them acquainted with written work, individual work, instead of the blackboard. You know, each child gets a sheet of paper, he knows he has to do an individual work. Now, if we could get that. Now, our typewriter is out of commission likewise. And what we have there is an electrical typewriter. But I wouldn't mind if we could get an ordinary portable typewriter so that we would be able to, because we have people here who type. Miss McDonald, Mrs. Facey, you know, Marie does it too. So we could have done much better here, especially with the scholarship, and know what they are asking of us in the scholarship. So the past students can do much to help. You would think of our television, that is not in service anymore. So there are so many things that we need.
Okay, if the past students would are decided, mainly those abroad, have decided that they would offer assistance, how would they get in touch with you? What are your the ways of getting in touch with you? By address, or who should they contact? What are your contact points?
Well, our chairman, as a matter of fact, the board members and myself, Reverend Hall is there, Mr. Case, who is the chairman, Reverend Hall is a member of the board, myself or the PTA president. As a matter of fact, you could address it to me, address it to me, and then for Clarksonville School. If you are sending a package, address it to the principal and quote my name, or the acting principal, whatever it is, and you quote my name. And then we should be able to get it.
Do you have any contacts like New York or Miami that someone could get in touch with where they could give something and say, well, send this to Ms. John, because sometimes people are saying that, well, they have this, but they don't have time to take it to the post office or to get it out to you. If they knew somebody, they could give it to and it would get to you. Do you have a contact?
My daughter lives in Miami, My daughter lives in Fort Lauderdale. And if whatever could be sent to her, I am certain that she would store it. And then from time to time she sees people coming to Jamaica.
Okay, do you have a phone number and address that we could refer back to?
I could give you her address and phone number.
Okay, just polishing up, could you just make some general comments and suggestions of the area and the community on a whole? Things that could show people away that coming back to live here would not be any type of depression as such, what they could look forward to, or how they could help in rebuilding their community.
Well, you see, what I want to tell you, I have seen people who have been abroad for many, many years, and they have returned to Jamaica, and not only to Jamaica, to Clarksonville, and they have been doing very, very well. Now, it's left to what you want. Unless you have a mind to return to your village and help to build, whether you're going to live and cultivate, you're going to make a house, or you're going to buy a house out of the area and then you have farmlands within the area and then you can come and farm or whatever you want, whatever the establishment you want to go into. But it's left to the person. I am certain that the villagers would appreciate their own coming back into the village, and they would have seen the way of life. They would have been able to, for instance, use the building here and use it in a way so as not to damage the furniture or damage the building. And they could keep an eye on it for recreational purposes. They could use it for recreational purposes, games and what have we. And if they want to have video shows, but so long as there are people there who will man it and see to it that vandalism is not done to it, then I think everything would be all right. In general, I think the people would be happy. And I think that people can make it here if ever you want to come back to live in Jamaica.
Okay, what would you say is the greatest need of this community right now?
It's water. Water is the greatest need. Because I have been here since, for 19 years. And water seems to be the problem every year. From time to time I keep wondering, I say, why? The few people who have tanks, they are the people who are a little bit better off. But if everybody could get on this program of building a tank, then things would have been much better. Because whatever you have as water would last you, the individual, a little longer. And even if there's a failure here and there for water, then what would have happened is that water could be trucked into the area. But if water is trucked at the moment, then everybody is going to be in great need for it. And that's it. And then there's that village by road there. If ever something could be done to it by asphalting it, straightening the areas, building some walls along, then, the public transportation wouldn't be difficult.
Okay, what do you see for the community of Clarksonville, Cedar Valley and Cape Valley, which are the main surroundings here, Campbell's Land? What do you see 10 years down the road?
Oh, that is stretching.
On a continuous trend as it is now.
Well, I think whoever manages agriculture, it's basically an agricultural village or area. And what I think, whoever is in charge of agriculture anywhere, if they could lend a helping hand, if they could instruct and supervise the people, I think the people would be well on their way to getting what they want through and from agriculture.
Okay, we just want to thank Ms. Johnson for her time and trust that whosoever gets a message will join hands and heart together so that where we are from will be somewhere where we can all return to someday. Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm happy that somebody could thank you to McLean. I am happy that you could have come here, and let me hope that something beneficial will be done for the school and for the community sometime to come. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to call upon the principal of the school, Clarksonville Allage School, none other than Ms. Victoria Johnson, to come and address us at this time. Please give her a hand.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. So nice to have you all here this afternoon. I am supposed just to say a few words to you. I'm not going to keep you very long. I just want to say how grateful I am this afternoon for your turning out. I was really looking for this building packed. But then I have to be grateful for small mercies. Now, what I have actually done is to call you here this evening just to say thank you in a very tangible way to some of those gentlemen and ladies who have been very, very kind to us during the school, the life of the school. You know, it's not the big things that you do, but it's how you do it. And we are always grateful for the kindly acts, the lovely smile, and all the nice little things that you do for us as teachers. You know, as well as we do, that teaching is not, it is a very, very good job, but it is not lucrative. It is becoming more and more strenuous these days. And so when we pass you along the way, and when you smile at us, and when you cheer us on, you make our days. And then we are courageous enough to continue. Now, there are many of you within this little gathering that have really, really been very, very close to us and have been very, very kind to us. You know the worth of education. You realize that our government cannot do as they really want to do for education. And so, kind and thoughtful people have made it their duty to assist us in some way or the other. And you see what we do here, we like to say thank you. In this world, thank you is not in any dictionary anymore. People do not say thank you. And this evening we want to say very, very hearty thank you to some of those people. We cannot say it to everybody in this way, because this is the first start that we have made. And so we are taking it in strides. There are so many of us who, when life ends, we get flowers when we are not able to smell them. But right here and now, we want to give the flowers while these people can see them. And then these flowers will be an inspiration for them to continue the kindly acts that they have been doing. And so this afternoon, this is what all this function is all about. I am very grateful to them, and your children are the recipient of the things that they have given to the school. And so this is the reason for it. In the school, we continue to do very many things. we expose your children to various areas of life. Some of them you do not even know about. But when we draw them in, or when we quote them, please do not be mad, because we want them to be rounded personalities. And this is why we are doing it. We have so many areas in which we are, to which we are affiliated. We have our science area, we have our festival speech. You have just heard one, and I think by hearing that, you know exactly where we are and what we are doing, because I think that poem was well done. It's one of the 1991 festival items. And so these are the ways in which we try to train your children. It's kind of hard on us from time to time, but then we have to do it, because we here have bonded ourselves to do justice to the kids that are placed in our care. And we will continue to do so in spite of everything. It's hard again, I say, and there are many areas in the school that needs upgrading. But we will just have to do it whether the areas be upgraded or not. And so, I'm going to sit down, because we have a little way to go. But I want to thank you, I want to appreciate you all for coming here this evening. And as you have noticed on your program, there's an area around grade 2 there that you will see when you get there. It's the last science exhibition that we did, and we have placed it there for your viewing. Those young ladies who are in charge, they'll be able to tell you all about it, and I'm going to ask of you questions. Questions. They are capable of answering, because it's from this area that some 2 or 3 years ago we made the headline, and we were able to get to Antigua, a free trip to Antigua, and they did justice to the exhibit there. I just want to give you an insight into what we are still doing. Last year, we managed to do an essay on the Commonwealth. It came straight from Britain, and the topic was to throw away identity would be to lose out on whatever. And so what happens is that after almost 8 months, a letter came in to say that the student, she's not here any longer, she's at another school, she got the B, a B average. And out of a clear blue sky on Monday, a telegram came in that she would be awarded the Commonwealth Prize that Jamaica takes. Okay, Pegasus gave us, or hosted us, I should say. So we spent 2 days at Pegasus, and Dr. and Mrs. Davidson flew out from London, and they came to make the presentation. So the presentation was made 4:30 on Thursday afternoon. And while there we met the ex-commissioner of police, Mr. Herman Ricketts, and quite a host of others. And when they questioned, and we told them all that was happening at our school, they said we would hear from them early. So you see, we are going places. It might not be big, but then we are doing it. And whatever we do here, we are trying to do it very, very well. And she was awarded a check for £50 for the prize. That was what she got. Juliet is not here at the moment. She's Juliet Lawrence from K Valley. That's Keel's sister. And she had all the highlights. She was highlighted very, very greatly. And I'm proud of her, and I'm also very proud of the school. All of us who really had something to do with it, and something to do with Janelle, we are all proud of her. And we shall continue, as we have pledged, to Dr. and Mrs. Davidson that we will continue to do Jamaica justice. So, whether you see us or you don't see us, whether you love us or you don't love us, we have to keep school. And in this school there's a standard. And you could rail as high as Blue Mountains. The standard will be here. I'm not going to back down. So the day I'm going to back down is when I move on. Because if you are at the spot and there is no growth, then it's time you know you're to walk. So, I'm going to be here for the time I'm going to be here. And whatever I'm going to do for your kids, I have done it already and I'm going to do it again. Thank you for your pleasant hearing. Enjoy, sit back, relax, and enjoy the little package that we have for you. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
We have been appreciating parents, and as I said before, you might not get a token from us, but we are going to socialize in a little while, and you'll see how much we appreciate you. But I think that when you touch on the part of parents and the school, Clarksonville, I think that one of the most outstanding parents of all is our noble principal, Miss B.L. Johnson.
Yes.
Unless we call her and show her that we as a staff appreciate the work that she has been doing for all the students. So at this time, we're going to ask to know, but she doesn't know about it. She looks surprised. I'm going to ask the noble principal. As our chairman said, we're not putting on the grave until when she's dead, we're going to give her now, because we think this is the appropriate time to do this. I want to look in your face. And she's like, look surprised, you know. And we thought we were going to really surprise her. On behalf of the members of staff, the board, the PTA, and the entire community, we take this medium to honor you for your dedicated service over the years to build the school and uplift the Clarksonville community. Miss Victoria L. Johnson. And this is a very strong name, you know. That name spells out venerable, intelligent, consistent, terrific, open-minded. You see, we put our heads together to come up with big words, you know. Respectable, impressive, attractive administrator. Oh yeah. Jovial, outstanding, hilarious, noteworthy, sensitive, outspoken, nobility of the highest caliber, Miss Victoria L. Johnson. On this memorable day, we rise to pay tribute to you, Ms. Johnson, for the incredible and invaluable contribution made throughout the past 22 years towards the education and development. Teaching and learning are supreme implements in fashioning and molding the minds of the young. And Ms. Johnson, you have made it your concern to carry out the unending task of helping children to become rounded and well-developed individuals, people who can make and have made their contribution efficiently in society. Your wisdom, education can be known only by what you say and do. These qualities you have displayed with uttermost discretion. You are never one to speak before you know what you are talking about. And in the same way, you brought these qualities into the classroom. Ms. Johnson, through your ceaseless efforts, the school's community is much better off because your life has touched hundreds. Ms. Johnson, we salute you, for you have never been lazy, tardy, or negligent in discharging your duties. We should know. We were always one to go the extra mile. Total dedication has been the hallmark of your career as a teacher. True characters are tested in the furnace of very adverse and conflicting situations. And Miss Johnson, you have been through the fire and you have come forth as gold. Oh, see? Couldn't be more appropriate. We pay homage to you on this special day because you have been steadfast in spite of the many odds. You were persistent when the task was uphill all the way. As a teacher and as an administrator, you have been hardworking, diligent, determined, and reliable. These are the sterling qualities of which great men and women are made. You are indeed one of the unsung heroines of our great nation. In conclusion, the whole school population thank you for the invaluable service which you have given. And we trust that you will continue to serve without reservation in the interest of mankind. We know that you will still uphold the school's motto, we build. May your and this is a lovely love verse by Miss Bryce. May your path be filled with flowers. May the road rise to meet you along the way. May God's sunshine warm your face, and His peace in your heart abide.
On behalf of the staff and the students, I take this a great pleasure in presenting this little gift as a token of our love and appreciation for what you have done for us. We thank you so much for your invaluable service over the past 24 years, and we do hope and pray that the Lord will strengthen you that you may serve in this same capacity. Thank you.
I will live up to the mark, continue to live up to the mark of my expectation. I don't know if I really deserve all this, but you see, it's not me. Those who I have worked with, and I'm still working with them. Thank you, and God continue to bless you, and may we continue to work and serve as a staff.